Good morning. I'd like to call the July 23rd Board of Commissioners meeting to order, and we will have a Pledge of Allegiance directed by Administrator Crush today.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, all. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda. I think there are no corrections. Is that
Correct, no
Correct.
additions, just some additional information.
additional information which is in your blue folder?
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Before you, we have some new employees.
Lots of them.
We are impressed. What a gallery. We thought it was exciting information. Please, I think everybody's yours, Cassie, right?
Yes, yes.
Cool.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I will have Angie Obermiller and Kelsey Mutzke introduce their new team members.
Great.
Hi.
Good morning.
Thanks for
Good
having
morning.
us back. We have 3 new people. Come on up, guys. Jen Woolen is a new child protection social worker. Stacy Helget, also a child protection social worker, and Molly Stoffel, who is a family-based service provider. So I'll let them tell you a little bit about themselves.
Great.
Hi, my name is Jen. I've been a social worker for 13 years. I'm coming from 8 years working in mental health and chemical dependence in the foster care system. So this is a whole new field for me.
Sure. Good luck.
Thank you. I'm Stacy Helget. I live over towards the other end of the county, but actually in Sibley County, given address. I've been a child protection social worker almost 21 years. So I worked in Sibley County for 4.5 years, just came from Brown County after almost 17 years, and now I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Molly Stoffel. I'm from Stewart County, but I am coming from Minnesota Valley Action Council, and I've been there for almost 2 years. Before that, I took care of my own kiddos for quite a long time, but I finished my master's degree last year and decided it was time to get in the field.
Welcome.
Congratulations and welcome to you all.
Thank you.
Good morning, this is Lindsay Stanger. She is joining our adult mental health team part-time and adult protection team part-time.
Good morning.
Good morning. I was working for the past 10 years at Blue Earth County Employment Services. It's a division of MRCI WorkSource, working with families on MPIP and DWP programs with helping them to be self-sufficient.
Super. Thank you for your
Thank
work.
you.
Mr. Chair,
Please.
as an observation, I just think it is so important that we have ladies like you to join us here in Nicollet County to do this good work. And we wish you the best of luck and happy that you're locating in Nicollet County, or your job is in Nicollet County. And there's so many good things that your department under Cassie's leadership can do to help the people of our county. And we're grateful. So good luck with your work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And next on our agenda, we have no other introductions, right? That was the list. Consent agenda is before you.
So moved.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We are up to public appearances. Suddenly, all the faces look very familiar. And first call for public appearances. Second call for public appearances. Hearing none, we will continue on with the agenda. And I believe Cassie is back with us. Good morning again.
Good morning. This morning, I have a request for approval of the 2019 Blue Earth County Mental Health Center Purchase of Services Agreement. So the significant change to this contract for the 2019 year is a reduction from $50,000 annually to $25,000. And that comes after much discussion with Blue Earth County regarding the $50,000 contract amount. When we left Sioux Trails, our amount was $237,000 annually. And when we moved to counseling services and the Blue Earth County Mental Health Center, we had tried to divide that up and figure out an amount that would provide us the coverage we needed for our psychiatric clients, as well as a safety net service provided. So if we had a large influx of need, Blue Earth County would be able to make things work to provide that service, essentially. At that time, the estimation was $50,000. We've had very low utilization. We have a significant number of clients who go to the Blue Earth County Mental Health Center for severe and persistent mental illness services, which are covered by a 10-county state grant. The only clients we have that are served by this dollar amount were between 10 and 12 people approximately each year. So for this year, the thought had been to be transparent in how much they could say would be a safety net versus fee for service that we would reduce to $25,000. Right now, we're in negotiations for next year's contract to establish specific services that we want and would do more of a buy-in for an FTE of a position so that we could be very clear moving forward about how our dollars are spent. Any questions about the contract?
Entertain a motion.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second. Any other discussion?
And we're comfortable with the services we're getting at this point? Or it's been a good relationship?
It has been a really good relationship, yes. I think we're getting very quality services, and I like that they have come to us several times to try to discuss what would be fair for both parties, what would be the best use of taxpayer dollars to provide what we're providing for current clients, but also to make sure that we have the capacity to provide for more.
So mutually beneficial.
Yes.
Oh, and I think we had a reduction of their own volition last, 2018 also, that they came back to us and there was some reductions because they felt that we were overcompensating.
That was with counseling services.
counseling
So actually, yes,
services,
both of our
yeah.
partners have been very ethical and transparent in how they're using our county funds.
Great.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chair, just to complement what you folks are saying here, so are we reaching all of our county residents with these two services that may not have been able to been reached by the previous service?
We certainly hope so. I don't know that we'll ever reach a goal where we know absolutely that we're reaching everybody. I think that we're doing our best to try the telehealth using our ITV system, which is increasing our capacity. I think that counseling services with their offices kind of spread out, we're certainly having more people served. And with the change in the sliding fee scale at counseling services, because of our contract, they reduced a sliding scale to a $0 ability for those who really have no income, which they didn't have before. So previously, people would have been unable to pay the copay and would have been turned away. And now they're able to provide a good service to them.
That's good to know.
Absolutely.
Well, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I think your counterpart in Brown County is retiring this week.
Correct. Yes, after 46 years, I believe. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Anything to the topic?
Just don't be thinking about going anyplace.
I am not.
Good.
Yeah, 4 years left.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you again for all your work, Cassie.
Thank you.
We do appreciate it. And guess who's next? Hi, good morning.
Morning. Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board and staff. Already at the end of Q2, so I'm here to present the Q2 donations. We have a resolution to approve the donations. We have some that are typical for every quarter, some various donors for the Vets Van, and then we also had some gift card donations from the Mankato Elks Lodge. We also had the loan closet, some various donors, and then one donor, an amount for a park bench at our 7 Mile Creek. The total is $3,699, and I'd be looking for approval on these Q2 donations.
I move the resolution.
I'll second that.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion or any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion Motion passes unanimously. Thank you
Thank
again
you.
for your work. And we have some public works issues we need to consider.
Yes, and we have our Assistant County Engineer, Dave Sandvig, here today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Dave.
You got your bounce.
Do I have the striping information too?
I have that here.
Okay, yep, I've got everything else then.
Thank you.
Morning.
Thank you, sir.
Who gets the contract?
I can take those down
Yeah,
there.
take care of it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
Well, yesterday we had our bid openings for our annual striping project. We had two bidders, which is normal, AAA and also traffic marking. And they were the lowest. They were under the engineer's estimate by, 20-some thousand. So what I'm asking is your approval to award that to traffic marking.
I'll move the approval.
We have a
I'll second
motion. We have a second. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, I think we've employed the services of this outfit.
Yeah, they had it last year, and I think AAA had it the year
Right.
before, and
So it
traffic
bounces
marking
back.
had it 2-3 years prior to that, so.
Mr. Chair, the quality of their work is
Yep, they
adequate?
do a really good job.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Want me
you.
to
You
stick
can stay
around?
there, Dave, since you were at the bid opening yesterday. Mr. Chair, next item is the bids we got for the courthouse parking lot project. Yesterday, we opened bids, we had 3 bids, I have that information in your folders there. The low bid was OMG Midwest, doing business as Minnesota Paving and Materials. Low bid was $494,702.50. Engineer's estimate was $514,974.68. So we would recommend approval of the low bid. If approved, that work would begin, my notes here, I think we discussed August 19th with a timeline of completion by November 1st this year.
It would be paid this year?
That would be all the work done and completed, assuming we have cooperative weather.
Right.
I'll move approval, then I have a question.
No.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second.
Thank you.
Discussion.
Right, I just want to be clear, because we're using designations for parking lots that you all may understand. So, do we have the, what do you call, what are the names of the different parking lots?
They're informal names, really,
Yeah.
but, so the main large parking lot at 169, I guess I refer to as the human service parking lot.
Okay.
I guess that's what we call it. We've just kind of labeled this the courthouse or government center parking lot.
Which is
This new
across-
one.
Across the street.
So it'll be our front street properties that we've acquired, over the years. It'll be about a 75 stall parking lot. It's gonna have a crosswalk built in with flashing lights, so when people enter the crosswalk, they'll alert drivers. As you all know, Front Street is heavily traveled, and people tend to travel it very fast. They use it as a cut through, so they don't have to go 169. So we're hoping that we can slow folks down and make it a little more safe. And then our goal also is to eliminate some of the on-street parking here as well, for that safety factor. And we also want to be good neighbors to the residents in this area, try to eliminate cars parked in front of people's houses and that type of thing.
Great.
So,
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
wasn't there some thought that it would probably be the dirt work done this year and the tarring like a year from now?
No, I think the plan the whole way was to do it all 1 year.
Okay.
If we did have that occur where the weather didn't allow us to finish, it wouldn't be the end of the world to have it sit over the winter, but Seth and the guys at Public Works don't feel that that's
So
necessary.
there'll be adequate compaction
No.
in what we need to do to
They'll
get it
do
done.
enough of the job to
Right.
make
So I'm assuming that there was gonna be some fill on the backside of it.
I believe so, yep.
There's gonna be quite a bit of
Quite a bit of
fill.
fill,
We
so-
have to be 1 or 2 feet above flood stage, and back there, actually, we gotta fill in a significant valley.
Okay.
And so we gotta put a retaining wall in, and we're, of course,
Okay.
gonna put, storm sewer in, and as much drainage as we can, and then cross our fingers that we don't have heaving problems.
Okay.
This part of the town is not the best place to build parking lots, but it is what it is, it's what we've gotta work with, so.
Was it a dump or something 100 years ago?
No, it's
a river.
it's the
It's a river.
soil and the bedrock
Okay.
that we have.
Okay.
It just, there's a lot of underground water movement in this part of town, so.
Mr. Chair.
Sir.
I support this building. Did we take care of the human services issues?
Yeah, so what we've been doing with that is.
Parking lot issues, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
The mobile
No anxiety.
course.
Yeah, so it wasn't, the heaving was terrible 2 years ago. Wasn't as bad this spring. We did discover a year ago that the original contractor didn't put all the drainage in that they were supposed to. They are in agreement to come in and do that work properly. What we're doing, in addition to that work, is we wanna put some additional tile in, as long as they're gonna have part of that parking lot opened up. What we're looking at now is probably going one more winter here, and contractors we've talked to in town here say it can take up to 5 years to really truly know what you're dealing with. The good news was it was better this year when it should have been terrible based on wet conditions, so we'll see what it looks like next spring, and then the plan is to have the work done that was supposed to be done, and then we're gonna go from there and decide how much tile, if any, to put in addition. And then, at that point, then we'll actually come in and seal coat it as well.
And the reason I asked that question is, could we expect the same result on this other side of Front Street?
We hope not. ISG did the plans for this. Public Works reviewed all the plans and is gonna oversee the project. We're gonna try to take measures to eliminate those issues, but you never really know until you build the lot. Some lots in downtown here have been built and there has been no problems. Others have had huge problems, and problems went away, some still exist, so it's, we've got poor soil in this part of town, and then when you get about 4 or 5 feet down, you start hitting bedrock or limestone formations, and there's just an extreme amount of water that flows through. This spring, the sump pumps in the HHS building were running nonstop.
They're probably running now.
I'm sure they probably are.
You know, and construction of that building perhaps disrupted some of that
Yep.
natural flow to begin with.
Because all the water from the hill comes down to the river, and then when the river floods, it pushes this way, and we're right in the middle here, but, yeah, so we'll see what happens. We're optimistic. It will help. We desperately do need the additional parking spaces. With the addition of all the staff at Health and Human Services, and then we have DHS now as tenants the last couple of years. We certainly need, on court days especially, it gets really packed around here.
Well, and it's still the safety issue of getting our
Cleaning up the
vehicles and our
street.
staff in a safe parking space, and making that whole traffic pattern on Front Street more tenable for everyone.
Would that be lighted too, or
Yep,
what's?
Yeah.
we'll have lighted cameras as well. I did reach out to, or a couple years ago, I was contacted by the city and by the event center, I can't think of the name of it now, the Armory, about parking, and I wasn't real in favor of allowing the event center to use our parking lots around our buildings for parking, just because they host a lot of wedding dances, and we have sheriff's activities that need to be 24/7 and can't have interference. I did say though that when we had this lot available, because because it's away from our buildings and operations, that it would be available for public parking. So, and over the last couple of years, we've talked about that informally, so that is the plan, is I will make that available.
Evenings and weekends.
Right. I don't foresee any problems. Again, it's away from our buildings and that type of thing.
When there's events, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Please.
When there's events at that new event center, we don't put up no parking
No,
restrictions.
we don't. Capital Route is the name of it.
Right.
We don't. We haven't had any problems yet, and you know, a few people park over. Where am I here? Right out front, right outside here in our little lot, but that's fine. It doesn't cause any problems. But I think this will be a good option for them. It's close to their
And
place.
it's lighted and it makes
It's
sense,
lighted,
yeah.
It'll be actually more.
And they don't have to
convenient.
cross 169, their
Yep.
guests don't either.
And
so.
it's more convenient than our
Yes.
Health and Human Service lot,
Yes,
so.
I agree.
Just a reminder, we are funding this with reserve fund balance that we budgeted, in the 2019 budget. We budgeted 425,000, cause that was the estimate we had a year ago. Contract prices seem to be running high this year across the board for everybody. We're not sure why. I think Seth and I feel it has a lot to do with the wet weather, and contractors are so far behind that they've got a backlog of work, so they don't need to maybe be as competitive with their bids. But regardless, we think it's a good number to go with.
Anything else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much
Thank
for your work.
you.
Mr. Chair, before Dave leaves.
No.
I was
There you go. You were almost safe, Dave.
I mean, I think that it's important for this board to remember that Dave has served our county for many, many years, and also gave us his time for this year, which is helpful, and don't know exactly when you're planning on leaving, but
Well, I gotta get to the even year, so.
gotta get to the even year, so he's here for a while, but.
see.
I don't think it'll be past 2020, so.
Okay.
We coaxed him back for another year, so.
Well, it's important that we make sure that we thank him for the service, and personally want to thank you. I've been here long enough to remember that we both used to have more hair. So
Yep. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Thanks.
Went fast.
Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Dave. Appreciate all your efforts.
Thanks for allowing me to say that, Mr. Chair.
It's almost like he's running for office. All right. I would like to recess the board meeting and convene the Drainage Authority meeting. Having done so, the items before you, we have a consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I will move the consent agenda.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We have some approval of redetermination for County Ditch 29A. And
Good
there
morning,
she
Mr.
is.
Chair
Good
and
morning,
members
Jane.
of the board. So today I have a order and finding of facts for you to consider to redetermine County Ditch 29A. If you recall, back in December of 2018, we ordered various ditches to be redetermined, and I've submitted a map for you to refer to in your packet. And the ditches that are colored in orange are the ones that are in progress that Mark Behrens' group is working on. And while they were working on them, they determined that 29A also drains into 13A, and that this would just be a really good time to maybe add 29A. And so I would also recommend that. So I have enclosed a finding in fact in order to go ahead and order the redetermination for 29A, appoint the viewers and the engineer of Jones, Haugen, Smith to do the engineering to create the watershed line.
I'd entertain a motion of the resolution.
So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? And we're not at the point of, this is merely, okay.
Right.
All right.
They're just
I was-
beginning their
I was running
works.
farther ahead than I needed to. Madam County Attorney.
At this point, the board is just focusing on the fact that the original benefits in the system were determined quite some time ago, and it is time to
It's time to update, so, thank you.
Correct.
No other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
For your work. And I think now we are prepared to adjourn the Ditch Authority meeting. How about a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion.
To adjourn, second.
The Ditch Authority. Yes. We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. I would now like to reconvene our board meeting, and we're teeing it up with the administrator.
The only other item, Mr. Chair, is that I provided you with our summary of our strategic planning session that the board, myself and Jamie had back in March. I got this information back in April from AMC and was waiting for a replacement of my assistant to help me put this together. But what I provided you was the role of the county commissioners, administrator, and department heads that we discussed that day, and then just some additional information regarding our kind of our 5-year goals and strategies and strengths and weaknesses that we think we have here in Nicollet County. So I thought that was beneficial, and I like doing those every couple of years to bring the group together to have those discussions.
Very good. And I think you all received your laminated reminders also. So again, thank you. I'm guessing that that's Abby's word.
Right.
Thank you. Chair's report. I attended several meetings. The most significant of note was our meeting with the subcommittee for CHS on the Elixir building, which will be more detailed and report to you at the full board meeting. There's some maintenance issues on that building that we need to address and go forward with. Other than that, I had a multi-county HRA meeting, and we also had an MRCI executive committee meeting that I attended. That's all I have, and we'll go through the rest of the report, starting with Commissioner Lipke today.
I went to the Soil and Water Board meeting in Nicollet. First time in a few months there wasn't a conflict, so I was able to go there. Went to a ditch meeting in Gaylord, went to the workshop with the rest of you. Went with Jack to the Highway 14 meeting in Owatonna. I think that was a good meeting. Yesterday I went down to the Rural Minnesota Energy Board in Slayton. And if anybody's interested, apparently there's a lot of PACE funds available right now. And they actually said the best candidates are usually grocery stores. Because they can modernize their freezers, and cooling
For the
equipment,
energy system.
and they can kind of make it pay, because it has to pay back to make it. It's a 4% loan, and it gets thrown on the taxes. But there are funds available right now, but something about the people that tell other people about it, that's not working too well. So the word isn't getting out there, and the funds are available. That's it for me.
Commissioner Morrow.
You and I attended an insurance meeting, and then the workshop that we all mentioned, St. Peter Liaison, and then I was with you yesterday at Elixir.
Thank you. Commissioner Drell.
I attended a workshop, the ditch gig up in Gaylord, a city county liaison meeting, and a Project 33 meeting, which didn't happen when the players didn't arrive. So it was a quite fast 5-minute meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Kolars.
Thank you, Commissioner. Minnesota Valley Action Council annual meeting, the board workshop, Highway 14 with Commissioner Lipke. We had our Traverse to Sioux meeting, which is the library meeting, and we're not just meeting in Mankato anymore. We're going to all of our county locations, which has been very instructive. We were in Henderson last month and going to Montgomery to have some kolaczkis next month. So had a Minnesota Valley Action Council committee meeting, and then today's county board.
Thank you. I don't think we have anything outstanding. Is anybody on the board interested, or you've been receiving your emails from the White House, and was wondering if there was anybody interested in making that sojourn. If not, I think your deadline is sometime before the end of the month. I want to say the 22nd or something like that was their deadline. Not seeing a raise of hands or a rushing.
I am
to-
busy that day.
I see.
Nice time of year to be in Washington. DC, I'm
Exactly.
sure.
Well, you get a better feel of the swamp when you're there in August, I guess. So,
I think we're used to it.
okay, approval of per diems and expenses.
Move it.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. I think, do we have any other business before us, Madam County Attorney? Is there anything of note you would like to discuss?
I had an opportunity to meet with Attorney General Keith Ellison on Friday. He was in town for a listening session and met with a number of area county attorneys, so we were able to just have a conversation about issues that are statewide impacting county attorneys' offices. And then just a reminder that the back-to-school business, or the challenge is on for collecting school supplies for students in St. Peter and rural Nicollet County. So that is going to be wrapping up in about 2 weeks. So if you have supplies to bring in, that would be great. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Administrator? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, let's not all run me over here. We have a motion, how about a second? We'll give John the second.
Oh, I thought I had a second.
All right.
That might be right.
We'll leave it up to Abby then to decide who gets it. All
We don't care.
those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.